Hey guys, what's going on? Okay, something monumental has happened. I don't know how I pulled this off, but I was on my Twitter, and if everyone that knows me knows that I'm a big fan of Marc Summers. Marc Summers was like this guy in the 80s that, totally made it the greatest game show ever. It was called Super Sloppy Double Dare, Family Double Dare. And I added him on my Twitter, and I didn't think in a million years he'd respond, okay? So he's like, hey, why don't I give you a call sometime? And I went, and he actually responds like, hey, Mark, I'm your biggest fan, you know, I think you're amazing. And he actually just called me. He left me a message, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to call him back. So here, let me play the message.
Hey, John, it's Marc Summers, and you're not there. So, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'll try again at another point. But I did make the attempt. Just know that. Bye.
Oh my god. So, this is his official fan page. This is the official fan page of Marc Summers.
Hey, John, it's Marc Summers, and you're not there. So,
that is him. I have watched Double Dare since I was 5 or 6 years old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera. I'm going to set it up, and we're going to call him back, and I'm going to get the whole message on video. So here we go.
Jason, how may I help you?
I believe Marc Summers called me from this number, and I was just giving him a call back.
Yeah, please ask. Who's calling?
John Fears. He just called me about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Mr. Fears, what business are you calling with?
What business am I calling?
Yes, are you associated with a business or anything like that?
No, I'm not. I'm not associated with the business. I'm just on his Twitter, and I'm good friends with Mark. And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you a call sometime." And I said, "Okay." And he's like, well, "What's your number?" And I gave him my number, and I guess he called me, and I was just returning his phone call. I'm a big fan.
Okay. All right, one moment, please.
Okay.
Wrapping up the top 5 at 5 today with and, well, what was this all about? Well, we were talking about rock bands that quote-unquote went disco. I have to put the quotes on that, Lauren.
I can't believe
I'm
this.
not going to argue with somebody over what disco is.
Oh, matter of opinion, right?
I don't think I can take it. You know, I mean, a lot of rock bands did sort of add
Hello?
the dance beat, the disco. All right, you got me. What do you want?
Hey, Marc Summers, what's going on?
Not much. I have no idea why I wanted to speak to you initially. What do you do? Are you a student? Are you a working person? What are you?
Well, I've been a fan of yours forever, and I just finished college in 2010, and I've loved film, movies, art, all that my entire life. I started watching the show like when I was 6 or 7 years old, so I'm definitely been a big fan for a long time. I can't believe I am talking with the legend Marc Summers.
I'm not a legend. Where did you grow up?
St. Louis, Missouri.
What would you ultimately want to do?
Anything in show business. I don't care what it is. I told my parents I was like, I would love to either work in movies, edit. I'd love to act, direct. I mean, I would start low. I'd start at the bottom of the page and work my way up. So I've been trying for quite a long time. So.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to high school in my hometown at Fort Zumwalt West High, and then when I went off to college, I went off to Arizona, and I went to a big film and art school degree called, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Collins College.
Mm-hmm.
It's
in Phoenix or where?
It's in the Tempe area. Like, Tempe's about 5 minutes away from Phoenix.
Scale and all around there, yeah.
And it was a great school. Went there for 4 years. Got a bachelor's in film and media arts, and I make short films. I put them on YouTube. I don't know if I think I've told you my YouTube channel. I've got about 450 movies up. Me and my friends, just each week we think of something funny, and we'll write them. We don't half-ass it though, Mark. We put like a lot of work into it. Like, now some of them are just us goofing around, but a lot of them are like, all right, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna write a script, and my friend knows how to do After Effects and editing, and we put the whole thing together, and we just finished one up. We did like a kind of a funny paranormal activity movie, and we thought that was kind of fun. We put that up, but
So how old are you? Like 24?
29.
You're 29.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you doing in St. Louis? You're not going to be in show business in St. Louis. I mean, you got to either move to LA or New York or Chicago or someplace like that. St. Louis is dead, man. There ain't nothing going on there.
I know. You're preaching the choir, Mark. I've been trying. It's really expensive out there. My friends have been telling me forever, and they said my friends have been like, "Hey, John, have you been saving?" I was like, "I've been saving just on like." And I looked up on the internet, like an apartment like in LA is like around $9,000 to $2,000, and I was like, oh, I don't have that amount of money. It's just been a lot of
You'd be better off working at a Walmart in LA, where you can at least, get some contacts and meet some people, get into a situation, you guys all know how to use the web, and you end up, bunking up with 17 other guys who are into similar stuff, because there's always people looking for roommates. I mean, I had a nephew who went out from Fort Wayne, Indiana, found two people on the web. He's paying like $500 a month in a place in North Hollywood. But at least you're out there and you're in it. You're interacting with people who are actually doing it. The fact is, there's nothing happening where you are. You can't make contacts. You can't interact. You can't, get to the next step. And before you know it, you're going to be 42, and then nothing's going to happen. You still got a shot at this point, but
yeah.
You got to, with all due respect, grow some gonads and get your ass out to, either the East or West Coast, which either you prefer, and surround yourself with people in the industry, because that's the only way it's going to happen. It's not going to happen by you being in St. Louis and hoping somebody watches your YouTube channel, because with all due respect, there's a million people doing what you're doing. How do you stand out? I have no idea.
No, I completely understand what you're saying, Mark. I understand. It's just been a bit of bad luck, and
You still live at home?
I live sometimes with my parents. I live sometimes with my friends, so it's back and forth. I'm just trying to get myself stable right now.
Yeah.
So, but you said you're not a legend. Me and my friends think you are a legend, so I hope you don't mind me saying that, sir.
That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that.
I never thought in a million years I would talk. Like, my friends are gonna flip. Like, my friends, like, John, when you call him, you have to like film the whole thing, like you talking to him, and put it like on YouTube. And I was like, I probably will, because I'm like, I never will get a chance probably again to talk to Marc Summers. And my friends were like, well, how did you achieve this? I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I was just on Twitter. I like created the Twitter account just to like get my movies out there. My one friend, she always goes to Comic-Con, and she's like, John, it's all about networking. She's like, I have a Facebook, a Tumblr. She's like, you got to get all that stuff going. And I said, okay. So I made a YouTube and a Twitter and a Tumblr and a Facebook, and I just saw you. I saw your thing, and I was like, well, it's probably like an official fan page. It's probably not the Marc Summers. And then when I found out it was yours,
that's me. Look, and as you can see, I don't take crap from anybody. I mean, all these idiots write stupid stuff, and it's just like, well, okay, just be prepared to get a response.
Yeah, I was saying nothing but nice things, and I was reading your page, Mark. It was a lot of negativity stuff. I was like, why is everyone like shitting on him? I'm like,
because it's social media, and social media is all bullshit, man. I mean, people say whatever they want in anonymity. But, it's very funny. I was at a restaurant in Philadelphia about 4 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
There was some guy who was just, like, fighting with me on Twitter. And he comes up to me, and he's a waiter at the International House of Pancakes, and apologizes to me. He says, you don't know who I am, but, my handle is this, and you and I got in the thing, and I really apologize, and all that other kind of stuff. It's like, the people have no lives go on that stuff, and they don't expect that celebrities actually read that stuff. We all read it, man. We all go to it and check it out and see what people say.
Yeah, because, I mean,
some people respond. If it's super stupid, I respond. So.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, what people don't get is, Mark, is people are like, oh, they probably don't read it, they probably don't respond. They're probably their, like, assistants do. And I looked at some of my friends, I'm like, you guys are morons. I'm like, they're normal people just like you and me. They check their Twitter, their Facebook accounts just like us. Like, they just can't check it all the time because there's so many responses, but they do check it. Like I said,
it's like we're just people, man. There's nothing special about us because we're on TV or something. It's just we're just human. So it makes me laugh that people think we don't respond or that it's somebody else is responding to it. We all check it. It is what it is. So it's kind of funny. But you need to get motivated. I don't know anything about your background or anything like that, but I mean, obviously you have talent. You wouldn't be doing it at this point in your life if you didn't have a passion for it. But you got to motivate yourself and somehow figure out a way I'm going to tell you, this is going to sound rough, but, if you really want it that bad, you've got to figure out a way to make it happen. You don't want to be 45 going, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It just, you only got one shot at this thing, so you really need to get off your rear end and do it, man. Something tells me you have some talent, so you should really pursue it. You should. If you're not going to leave St. Louis, then you got to figure out how to make it work for you in St. Louis. You got to go with the TV stations and get them to put you on something and show your stuff, or on some local level or whatever. But sitting around waiting for the phone to ring is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, I definitely don't do that, Mark. Like, I try at least do something of my passion every single day, whether it's like edit some footage, like call my buddy Mike and say, hey, Mike, we're going to do this, we're going to film this. Like, I always try and do something, and it's just a pleasure for one of my heroes to call me and say, you've got talent. I think that's amazing.
Do this. Tell me about the people that you went to school in Arizona. Do you keep in touch with anybody? Is anybody doing anything?
Most of the people that I went to school with, like, it's a big film and art school, so it has everything to do with art. It has, like, video game design, art, modeling, interior design, exterior design, film and media. And I did the film and media department, so I didn't really keep in touch with a lot of the film and media departments because, like you said, there's a lot of jackasses out there, and almost every one of my film student, like buddies that I went to school with were pretty much jackasses. I keep in touch with, like, 2 or 3 of those guys that were actually kind of cool. All the other ones are, like, absolute complete idiots. And I asked them what they were doing, and they're kind of stuck like me. They said, oh, John, they said, like, I'm kind of in a rut like you are, like, trying to make ends meet. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I hear you. I understand. And I still keep in touch with 2 or 3 of my teachers, and they're teaching. But some of my teachers have done some work. Like, one of my teachers, Mr. Robinson, he worked on the original Thriller music video with Michael Jackson, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty awesome. He's like, oh, that was way back in the 80s, John. He goes, but it was a pleasure to work with Mr. Jackson. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, I would assume so. I'm like, that guy's pretty epic.
Yeah, I would have been a cool gig. No question about it.
I do have some questions, Mark. I hope you don't mind, since it's only a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I need to have some questions about Double Dare. My friends would kill me if I didn't ask anything about Double Dare.
What do you want to know?
Okay, here we go. When the kids would come on the show, and you put them through the obstacle course, if you had to pick one of your favorite obstacles out of the course, out of the whole span of the show, what would be one of your favorite obstacles?
Gumball machine.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
It was so cool to go do it. I mean, the first time I went through it, it's like, whoa. Because for like 2 seconds, you don't know where you are because you dive into that thing, and then you're surrounded in all those color balls, and then you end up at the bottom. It's sort of like diving into the ocean and not knowing which end is up for just, a split second. That was the best one, I thought.
I'd say my 3 top favorite. If you didn't say Gumball, I was gonna say Gumball. I loved Picket, and I loved the Sunday Slide.
Yeah, those are probably the classic ones of all time, no question about it.
And then, what was your favorite part of the show? Was it like watching the kids go through the obstacle course, or you asking the questions, or like hanging out with Harvey, or like what was the best part for you?
Just the whole experience. When we first started, nobody knew what the hell was going on. I was the only person who had any game show experience. All the people at Nickelodeon were very young and had never done games before, and so it was like going to school together and learn how to put this thing together, and just the camaraderie. I mean, we're all still friends. Harvey, I talked to Harvey yesterday. I talked to Robin the day before yesterday. Mike Klinghoffer, the exec producer, called me last week. I mean, whatever happened, whatever it was in that time and that moment, made us all friends for life. And it's been 26 years now, and
you guys need to bring it back. Like my friends are like, John, like you are like a spitting image of like Marc Summers. They said you'd be a perfect host. I was like, I looked at my friends. I was like, if I got to be the host of like the revamped show, I said that would be a dream come true. I didn't really like Double Dare 2000.
Yeah, it wasn't that well. There were too many people telling Jason what to do, and Jason never had a fair shot at it. It was too bad. But Nickelodeon is never going to bring that thing back while I'm alive. They're waiting for me to die because I own a piece of the show, and they don't want me to make any more money, and they've tried to buy me out, and all sorts of horrible stuff. So it's not going on for a long time, hopefully. So Such is life.
Oh, and then my friends wanted me to ask, are they ever going to put like all the shows like on a DVD box set? Because they started putting some of the Nickelodeon shows on DVD. Like my one friend, he's a big fan of like Hey Dude, and they started putting those on DVD. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll ask him if he ever calls me. Are they ever going to make a big box set?
They don't want me to. They don't want to pay me any more money. And it's all about dollars and cents. And they don't own it outright. I own a percentage of all that stuff, and they don't want me to get any more money, so they ain't doing it. That's the problem. And people have requested and wanted it. They want What Would You Do? They want Double Dare, and they refuse to do it.
I know. I would love to have like the whole box set of Double Dare. Like, I watch them all the time. Sometimes, like if I'm bored at work, I'll watch some of them. I'll watch some of them on my break, Mark. I will like pull up on my YouTube, and I just go to like I think someone like, I don't know where this person, I subscribe to this channel called The Sunday Slide, and I don't know where this guy got all the shows, but he's got tons of the shows.
I know, and it's unbelievable where people find this stuff. It's pretty much all out there. Some of that stuff was hysterical. I mean, there were certain days where we did nothing but laugh our ass off for, hours, because the whole thing was so silly. Think about it. It was just so absurd. I'm this, 35-year-old man throwing green liquids at 11-year-olds and getting paid for it. It was great. It was a party every day. There wasn't one day where I didn't go to work and say, this is like the best job in the history of the world,
I think like the only thing of the show that kind of grossed me out is, I remember one time you gave an interview, and I remember watching this episode. It was like a massive tank full of like baked beans, and
it smelled horrendous, man.
And
one time I walked off stage, they tried to do a physical challenge with dog food, and he opened up a can of dog food. I just like puked my guts out. And so literally, it was with raw dog food, and I had to leave the stage, and I said, change that thing. I just can't do it. It was so gross.
I remember you giving that interview. I remember watching that. I think I watched it on television or YouTube, because you've done a whole bunch. You've done Summers and Biggers, and I remember watching that, and I remember watching the Food Network, and it's just you've just had an amazing career, Mark.
It's been fun. I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to be on something on Thursday night called Throwback Thursdays on ESPN. It's on, I think, at midnight, so I'm going up to Bristol to shoot that Thursday. And, I did Rachel Ray the other day. Did you see that double hair? We did Easter Double Dare. It was very cool.
I didn't see that, but I remember watching, do you remember a show, I guess, did you do Couch Potatoes after What Would You Do, or did you do that after Double Dare ended, or when did that come into effect?
God, I don't even remember when I did that. That was like 89, 90, so I think I was still doing Double Dare. I was flying back and forth from Double Dare. I don't think we had started What Would You Do yet, I don't think. I think Double Dare started in 86, Couch Potatoes was like 89, 90, and then the next summer we started What Would You Do?
Now, do you like What Would You Do better than
no way.
Better than Double Dare, because you got less slimed on What Would You Do? It was more about like hitting people with like the pies and stuff and the pie coaster and all that. Or do you love Double Dare still?
No, Double Dare was my favorite.
That was my favorite. I'd have to say my second favorite thing that you did is, I remember you did like a TV movie where a bunch of you and a bunch of kids go into like a magician house.
Oh yeah, the Mystery Magical Tour, the Marc Summers. That was a Halloween special. Yeah, that was fun. That was a really good show.
Yeah, that was something I really love, and probably not a lot of people know about that, because I think it was only on only on one time, or did they air?
No, it ran for about 7-8 years in a row, and then they pulled it.
Oh, okay. Because I remember coming back from trick or treating, and all of a sudden I turned on the show, and I was like, oh, I'm like, this is cool. I'm like, I've never seen it. This is something that he's new in. And my mom said, do you want me to tape it for you? Because I was going to miss it, because I had to go trick or treating again at my church. My mom taped it. I watched it, and I watched it every year until like the tape broke.
Yeah, no, that was a fun show. I created it, and wrote it, and produced it. That was fun.
Because my friends, my friends are fans, but they're not as big as fan as me. They're like, oh, I didn't know Marc Summers was a magician. I'm like, well, that's how he started. I'm like, he loves magic. I said he didn't know how to get going, so I said one of his buddies down the street helped him show him the art of magic.
Yep, he would love it. That's true. Yep. Used to go to his house like every night. He would do magic for me and teach me stuff, and that's how I got started.
And the way I got started, I just started doing like plays. I started doing theater. Then when YouTube finally did come out, I started going nuts with that. But I've always had go-get-em attitude. I wrote a novel, so I'm gonna try and get that published here soon. I wrote a full novel. It took me about a year.
Yeah, that's tough work. Writing is just brutal, as you know. If you've experienced doing that, that's not easy work.
It's crazy, but and so what's Robin and was Dave? Dave was your assistant, if Ryan's.
Originally it was Robin and Dave, and then Harvey was the announcer, and Dave has since moved to Los Angeles and works in video production. Robin has a mom and 2 kids, lives in New Jersey, and Harvey is a guy who goes into people's homes and builds.
Harvey the handyman.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff, and all nice people, and people I talk to as I see on a regular basis. Robert and I go out and do some corporate double dare gigs from time to time, and have some fun. And Harvey and I do some of that from time to time.
Now, I heard in an interview that you said it was some interview that you gave. I can't remember who you were talking to, but you said that Double Dare, it's 25 years, and they were gonna do like a 25-year anniversary.
They tried to. They could never get it off the ground, so we never did anything. So it was kind of sad that it never came to be. Everybody tried to do stuff in New York and L.A. and Orlando, and nobody could put it together. I know, like, you can't do that on TV and Hey Dude, and some of those things have had deals across the country, but for some reason nobody's ever been able to pull off the Double Dare reunion. It's kind of sad. But
well, it's like you said. I don't think they want to pay anymore, which is really sad because, like, not only would you make a buttload of money, but they would make a buttload of money doing the DVD. And
well, that's what we've tried to explain to them, but
it's probably a dead horse.
Do it. It's so weird.
It's probably a dead horse, Mark.
Probably is, and that's why you got to move on, man. That's why I don't rest my laurels on that. That was a long time ago, and it was fun, and I'm glad people remember. But there's many other things that are much more important in my life. All the Food Network stuff and Restaurant Impossible, and all the other stuff we're working on now. So it's good. I
love the Food Network. Been watching it for years. It's great, but I'd say my favorite 3 things you did was the Magic House thing, What Would You Do, and Double Dare.
Yes, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very nice. Yeah. All fun stuff, I always feel like I've never worked a day in my life. I've been lucky enough to do all this fun television and actually get compensated for it, so it's a good thing. I
even told my friends, too, as a sum of what you tried to say, like, I told my friends, I said, John, they said, would you still be happy living in Missouri? I said, you know what? I said, as long as I gave it my all, which I have been doing, and I know that I died trying to win my dream, I said, I would die a happy man. I said, I don't know if you go to, like, Comic-Con and all the movie conventions. I don't know if they've ever asked you to do that, but I
don't go to Comic-Con. It's a freaking zoo, and, it's not really to me. But
yeah, I've went there, Mark, and met tons of celebrities. Like, I just went to one, like, I don't know if you heard in the news, Comic-Con. It was the first time they came to St. Louis, and I met all sorts of people. I met, I don't know, do you know who Jason David Frank is? He played the Green Ranger off of Power Rangers. I used to watch that show, too. Met that guy, hung out with him for a whole day. Got an interview with him. It's on my YouTube. He was a great guy. Met the guy that played Lando Calrissian out of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I met a whole bunch of people, like people that I'd never thought I'd meet in a million years. And so I told my friend, I said, you know what? I said, I've done a whole bunch of stuff that I'd loved and achieved. So I said, if it never came to be, I would die a happy man because, like, I never thought in a million years I'd be talking to you. So, like...
When did they do that in St. Louis?
It was just a couple of weeks ago. I've been editing all the footage, and my friends were like, oh, you need to get it up faster, John. I was like, well, I said, I filmed a lot. I filmed for, like, 3 days straight. And I have a big professional movie camera that I usually bring, and I must have got about 10 hours worth of footage. And
what camera are you using?
It's a Panasonic sports Kodak sports play camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. I think it does like HD quality footage. And then my friend just bought a new Canon camera, and I would love to get a new Canon video.
Like the 7D?
Yeah, like I'd love to get one of those. They're super expensive though, but
yeah, those are great cameras. You can do anything with those things.
But my friend just bought a new Canon camera, and what we usually do is if he can't come with me, then I'll bring the next best camera I have is the Kodak Play Sport one, which it looks like a cell phone, but it literally, Mark, it does about like it can zoom in about 700 frames. It can do I believe it can run up to like 18 hours of footage like on the HD drive, and
really
a whole bunch of like bells and whistles on it. Like I have a 32 gig memory chip that I put in it, and I think that memory chip can hold, I don't know about 18 hours. I may be wrong on some of the facts, but it can hold a lot. Like, when I had the 10 hours of footage on there, I had only used about half of my memory on it, so I could have just kept going. But the
how are you editing it? Do you have a Mac, or what are you using?
I edit with Final Cut on a Mac, and I have the best Final Cut. So if you want to check out my work, it's at Fearsman26 on YouTube.
Check that out. See what's up there.
So it's
good.
So it's FEARSMAN and then just 26. So
that's good.
So it's all scrunched together.
Okay.
But
I gotta run, but I enjoyed talking to you, and keep me posted via the old web as to what's going on with you.
I definitely will, Mark, and this is my number, so if you ever want to call back again, it's 636-357-4122, and it's been an honor and a pleasure, sir.
Same here. You enjoy yourself. Have a nice evening.
All right, bye, Mark. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Bye-bye. Oh, my God. That was amazing. Mark, thank you so much. And what can I say? My friends are going to freak when they see this. Wow. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Dreams do come true. I just talked to Marc Summers, the king of Double Dare, the king of slime. I'm losing it. I just found him on Twitter, and we've been talking. We've been trying. He's been trying to call me for like ever. Like we just couldn't. He's so busy with his schedule. Like I'd give him the number, and then he'd forget to call me, and then. But I was like, whenever, Mark, call me at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. So, dude, to have one of my idols say that John Fears has got talent, whew, it's pretty epic. Anyway, this is John Fears, and hopefully more amazing things to come. So I'll see you later. Alligator. Alright, bye.